effect and is expected to ultimately wind up in front of the Supreme Court again for a final decision.
Universities across the country are promoting the concept of global citizenship, which many argue is contributing to the growing anti-American sentiment in academia. Joining us this morning to discuss is Campus Reform Higher Education Fellow and Political Science Professor at Suffolk Community College, Nicholas Giordano. Welcome to the National Desk. Good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
This push for global citizenship is actually integrated into mission statements of numerous colleges and universities, as we know. So what does this mean specifically for our students' education, and why are we seeing this sudden push, do you think?
Well, I think it's a big problem. You know, 2 weeks ago, the Department of Education released the numbers for civic proficiency within the United States and basic American history proficiency, and we're seeing the lowest levels in history. So it's clear the students don't have a good grasp on American history and civics, what our government is all about, and what's their civic obligation within our society. Now, I don't know a single country out there that could survive when the majority of people within the country don't know the country's origins, how it came about, and the role of government. When we look at it, the United States is extremely unique. We have all these different people from different places that come together. We don't have 2,000 years of shared history and culture and traditions together. So this push for global citizenship doesn't make any sense of telling students that they're part of the global community when they don't even understand the nation state that they come from. They don't even understand the basics. And what it's doing, it's meant to devalue the American identity. We've seen this push in academia where there's a lot of anti-American sentiment and the idea that America is systemically racist and evil and that it's born that way. So it's a push to devalue American identity, and unfortunately, it's going to create a tribal society, which has negative consequences throughout the entire community.
And Nicholas, we've seen colleges like Santa Barbara City College scrapping the Pledge of Allegiance and in some cases equating patriotism with racism. Where is this idea coming from, and what impact is this having really on our national identity?
It's a far-left ideology that exists, and the push of global citizenship is designed that they believe that citizenship is an accident by birth, that it's not your choice and it should be your choice, where that's not the way the world, the international community actually works. So what it does is it undermines the American identity. It takes the glue that holds us together. You know, we always disagreed on the political issues. That's the nature of a free society. But when it comes to what links us together, that's America, the idea of America, the concepts of liberty, the concepts of freedom and of free speech, free press, those basic concepts. Well, they're going out the window because if we look at the numbers, it's actually frightening. You know, 18 to 29-year-olds, 60% of them believe that the First Amendment should be reformed to outlaw what they deem is offensive speech. And they don't realize that if you do that, the government is the one that determines what's offensive and what's not. So it's really challenging the foundations of the United States of America.
Speaking of the foundations, exactly how this country and why this country was founded, this is very telling right here. A recent Wall Street Journal poll found only 38% of Americans consider patriotism to be very important. Now, that's compared to 70% back in 1998. I was just thinking after 9/11, we see all those American flags in front of houses, and that's not something we see as much now. What's going to happen if we continue to go down this road?
Well, now people find the American flag offensive. And then you had professors at the University of North Carolina protest the idea of requiring students to take American government and Constitution courses, which is really stunning when you think about it, because government impacts the totality of our lives. So students should be aware of how the government actually operates. So it really is impactful when you take all the negativity that's been put in this idea of America, and you look at the numbers as far as patriotism goes, we've seen a decline. People look at the flag now as offensive. The word America, you have colleges out there that have put the word America as possibly being offensive and limiting its usage. This is insane. It's not education. It's not academia. This is a far-left ideology that has encroached within our society, and that has really changed the dynamics going forward. And without patriotism, we don't have a country, because patriotism motivates us to help our fellow citizens when they're in need, not through government mandates, but by our own will. Patriotism is what keeps the society whole, puts the society above other things that exist. It separates what's wrong and what's right, the norms within society, the cultural, the traditions that exist within society. Without it, none of that exists.
Professor Giordano, we certainly appreciate you joining us here on the National Desk and discussing this with us. I look forward to talking to you more about this.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Have a great day.
A historic primary win in 2 critical races on Tuesday. We'll break down the results and the impacts coming up. First, we do have breaking news.